Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My phone buzzed at 7:14 a.m. I was packing my son Noah's backpack for school, humming the happy birthday song under my breath because today, finally, was his 7th birthday. He'd been counting down for months. I wiped my hands on a kitchen towel and checked the message. It was from my mom. Mom, sweetheart, we're not going to make it to Noah's birthday today. Money is tight. I'm really sorry. I froze. Not upset, not angry, just confused. My mom had never missed a birthday. Not mine, not my sister's, and definitely not Noah's. Noah peeked from behind the kitchen counter, clutching the little paper crown he made at school. Grandma's coming, right? His voice was tiny, hopeful. I forced a smile I didn't feel. Of course, buddy, she'll call later. Inside, though, something twisted, something off, something I couldn't name yet. My mom saying she's broke? My mom, who just last week sent my sister a photo of her brand new designer coat? My mom, who goes out for brunch twice a week? My mom, who always has money when my sister needs something. But suddenly today, the one day Noah had been waiting for, she was too broke to come? Something didn't add up. Not even close. I sent back a simple reply. Me. No problem, Mom, I understand. But I didn't. Not even a little. And my reply wasn't forgiveness. It was the beginning of something else entirely. Because I had no idea what truth was coming, and how deeply it would cut. After dropping Noah at school, I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel with both hands. I couldn't shake the feeling. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't even about the birthday. It was about the pattern. My mom always had excuses when it came to me. Always busy, always tired, always tight on money. But for my sister, everything was effortless. Instant, guaranteed. If my sister sneezed, my mom practically delivered soup, medicine, and a blanket in under 10 minutes. But when it came to me and Noah, silence, delays, excuses. I tried to ignore it for years, tried to be the understanding daughter, tried to accept that maybe she just connected better with my sister. But deep down, it hurt. It always hurt. And today, it stung harder than ever, because my son deserved better. I opened my banking app to check if maybe she'd sent something, anything, toward his birthday. She used to send at least a small gift when she couldn't come. Nothing. No message. No call. No effort. Just a 4-line text. Money is tight. I sighed and started the car. All right, I whispered to myself. Let it go. Focus on Noah. It's his day. But as I drove, something unexpected happened. My phone buzzed again. Another message. This time from my cousin Rachel. Rachel, your mom and Lily are at the new waterfront restaurant. Didn't you say you weren't going, lol? My stomach flipped. I read the message again. I stared at it until the words blurred. New waterfront restaurant. The one where a basic lunch cost $80. The one my mom couldn't afford. The one she skipped my son's birthday for. My fingers tightened around the phone so hard my knuckles whitened. She wasn't broke. She wasn't tired. She wasn't busy. She lied. To me. To Noah. And she didn't just lie. She chose my sister. Again. This time on my son's birthday. The anger inside me didn't explode. It simmered. Slow. Heavy. Dangerous. A quiet anger. The kind that builds a very long time. I didn't yell. I didn't call her. Instead, something inside me shifted. Something subtle but permanent. For the first time in my life, I wasn't just hurt. I was done. Not with family. Not with love. But with being treated like the disposable child. And I had no idea that this small moment, this one text message, would turn into a revelation that would tear my entire family apart. Because the birthday lie wasn't the end. It was the opening crack. And soon, the whole truth would come crashing through it. The restaurant Rachel mentioned wasn't just expensive, it was the most talked about place in town. A brand new waterfront spot with glass walls, gourmet meals, and a wait list so long people bragged for weeks if they managed to get a table. And then my mom was there, on Noah's birthday, laughing with my sister, eating $40 appetizers, while telling me she was too broke. I didn't tell Noah. I couldn't. When I picked him up after school, he ran toward me so fast his backpack bounced off both shoulders. Mom, did Grandma call yet? Did she say what time she's coming? I swallowed the lump in my throat and knelt down. Grandma's really busy today, honey. But you know what? We're going to have the best birthday anyway. He believed me instantly. He always believed the best in people, especially family. I wished I still did. We spent the afternoon decorating the living room together. He chose streamer colors, blue balloons until he got lightheaded, and set out paper plates with cartoon dinosaurs on them. Meanwhile, my phone kept buzzing from group photos Rachel was sending. And not just one, not just 2, 8 photos. My mom posing with my sister and her husband. My mom holding a giant dessert plate with sparklers. my mom smiling wide, wearing the same designer coat she claimed she couldn't afford. Not once did she text Noah. Not once did she say happy birthday. Not even a single emoji. When the doorbell rang at 5:14 p.m., Noah sprinted to open it. His face lit up, like he thought maybe, just maybe, Grandma changed her mind. But it wasn't my mom. It was my dad. He stood there with 2 grocery bags, out of breath, cheeks red from the cold. I didn't miss it, right? He said, pushing past me in a panic. I got everything for his cake. I even found the dinosaur candles he likes. My dad wasn't supposed to come. He and my mom were divorced, and he usually kept to himself. They barely spoke unless absolutely necessary. But he showed up, without being asked, without being reminded, and he came prepared. Noah wrapped his arms around my dad's waist. Grandpa, I thought you weren't coming. Miss my grandson's birthday? My dad said, ruffling his hair. Not a chance. Noah pulled him into the kitchen to show him the decorations. My dad waited until Noah was out of earshot. Then his expression changed entirely. What happened? He asked quietly. Why isn't your mother here? I hesitated, but I showed him the screenshot. The one where Mom said money was tight. His jaw tightened. He wasn't surprised, and that hurt in its own way. He looked like someone who'd been expecting this for a long time. Where is she really? He asked. I didn't want to answer, but the truth was already burning my throat. The waterfront restaurant. With Lily. He exhaled slowly like he'd been punched. She skipped Noah's birthday. For lunch with your sister. A beat of silence. Then another. Then his voice dropped to something low and steady. She's done this before, hasn't she? I didn't answer. He already knew. He put a hand on my shoulder, a quiet fatherly gesture he didn't do often. You're not crazy, he said. You're not imagining this. Your mother's been picking favorites since you were kids. I stared at him, stunned. He wasn't angry. He wasn't shocked. He was tired. Tired of watching it happen. Dad, why didn't you ever say anything? He shook his head. Because you always defended her. You always gave her the benefit of the doubt. I didn't want to hurt you. Noah came running back, holding the dinosaur candles. Mom! Can Grandpa help me put them on the cake? Of course, buddy, I said, forcing a smile. As they walked away, my dad leaned close and whispered, We'll talk later. There's more you need to know. Those words sat in my stomach for the rest of the night like a heavy stone. But for now, I swallowed them and focused on Noah. We lit the candles. We sang. We took photos. We cut the cake. Noah was happy, and that was all that mattered. But when I tucked him into bed that night, he asked the one question I'd been dreading. Mop, did Grandma forget my birthday? I opened my mouth. Nothing came out, because the truth was worse than forgetting. She didn't forget. She chose not to care. I kissed his forehead and whispered, Grandma loves you. She's just busy. My chest tightened with guilt, with the lie, with the truth I didn't want him to know. After Noah fell asleep, I walked back into the living room. My dad was sitting on the couch, hands folded, expression grim. Sit down, he said. There's something you need to hear. Something I should have told you years ago. My heart pounded in my ears. That moment, that sentence, would be the turning point I never saw coming, and everything that followed would change how I saw my mom. Forever. I sat down across from my dad, the room dim except for the soft glow of Noah's nightlight bleeding down the hallway. My dad took a deep breath, rubbing his hands together, like he was preparing to open a wound he'd been, keeping stitched shut for too long. Your mother, he began slowly, has always treated you and Lily differently. And it didn't start when you became an adult. It started when you were kids. I frowned. Dad, what do you mean? He looked at me with the kind of sadness that makes your stomach twist. You were 6, he said. Lily was 8. And your mom, she always believed Lily deserved more. More attention, more praise, more opportunity. She thought Lily was special and you were fine on your own. My throat tightened. She said that? I whispered. Not just once, he leaned forward. Whenever I asked why Lily got new clothes while you wore her hand-me-downs. Your mom said you didn't care about those things. When Lily got extra tutoring lessons, but you struggled with reading, she said, you're smart enough. Every time I brought it up, she brushed me off. I stared at the floor as memories resurfaced. Memories I had brushed aside, explained away, convinced myself were normal. Why didn't you fight harder? I asked quietly. My dad's voice cracked just a little. I did, more times than you'll ever know. But your mother, she was relentless, and every argument ended the same way, her accusing me of favoring you, just because I wanted equality. A painful silence settled between us. Then he continued, the final straw was your birthday. Your 10th birthday. My head snapped up. I remember that, I said. We didn't have a party. Mom said it was because money was tight. My dad shook his head slowly. No, that's not the truth. He reached into his coat pocket and took out an old envelope. A faded, worn, wrinkled envelope like it had been carried for years. He handed it to me. My hands trembled as I opened it. Inside was a receipt from an expensive jewelry store. The date was the same day as my 10th birthday. Your mother bought Lily a necklace that cost more than what I made in 2 weeks, he said. The same day she told you we couldn't afford a cake. My chest felt like it caved in. I remembered that day, watching Lily walk out of her room, smiling, twirling a brand new silver pendant between her fingers, while I sat at the kitchen table with a store-brand cupcake my dad had bought on his lunch break. She told me, I whispered, she told me Lily needed it for her school photos. My dad shook his head again. It wasn't for school photos. It was for nothing. It was because she wanted Lily to feel special, and she expected you to understand. My stomach twisted so hard I felt nauseous. But that was years ago, I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. She's different now. No, he interrupted gently. She isn't. She's the same, and today proved it. He leaned back, watching me carefully. You're a single mother. You're raising Noah on your own. You've never asked your mother for anything. And what does she do? She lies. She skips her grandson's birthday for a restaurant lunch with Lily and then sends you a text like you're a burden. Every word hit me harder than the last. It wasn't a single moment. It wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern, a lifetime. A lifetime I spent blaming myself instead of noticing the truth. My dad's voice softened. I'm telling you all this because I'm tired of watching you get hurt. You deserve better than the way she treats you. I finally looked at him. Why now? I asked. Why tell me all this tonight? He hesitated, then sighed, because I saw the look on Noah's face when he realized she wasn't coming. And it was the same look you had, year after year, when she didn't show up for you. My chest tightened painfully. I'm not going to let your son grow up thinking that kind of love is normal, he said. Someone has to break the cycle. For the first time in years, I saw my dad not as the quiet parent who stayed in the background, but as the one who had been watching, hurting, waiting for a moment when telling the truth might actually make a difference. I swallowed hard. Dad, what am I supposed to do? He looked at me with steady, unwavering eyes. First, stop making excuses for her. Second, protect your son from the same disappointment you felt. And third, he held up the old envelope. Keep this, because there's going to come a day when your mother tries to make you feel like you're imagining everything. And when that happens, you'll have proof. I looked at the receipt in my hands, one small piece of paper. Yet it felt like evidence from a crime scene. I took a slow, shaky breath. Then my phone buzzed. A new message. From Mom. It said, Hope you didn't make a big deal about me not coming. Noah doesn't understand those things anyway. My dad read over my shoulder and clenched his jaw. That, he whispered, is who she is. I didn't reply. Not yet, because something inside me, something I thought was long dead, was finally waking up. A cold, sharp, unfamiliar feeling. Not sadness. Not disappointment. Resolve. And that feeling would lead me to a decision I never thought I'd make. A decision that would change everything. Until the next story. Take care of yourself, set your boundaries, and never forget your worth.